100% get your give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they tell.
Yeah, my name is Justity Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
Hawk 2. Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
How old are you?
I'm 28, sir.
And where do you live?
In Kitty.
You own your own home?
Not as yet.
Apply for a house lot?
Not yet.
Well, sit down. You're not participating.
Well, sit down. You're not participating. That's how disrespectful those vagabonds are. Hey, good night. My name is Mark Benchop. Let's get ready to rock and roll this evening. Lots of things happening. I don't know what's happening in your neck of the woods, whether you have blackout, because all across Guyana, blackouts. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it means that electricity failure. The corrupt PPP regime, they have 2 ships that they brought in, hundreds of millions of Guyana dollars, and every single day it's back to square one. During the coalition government, APNU-AFC, from 2015 until 2020, Guyanese hardly, I'm not saying there weren't blackouts, but they hardly experienced that. This regime is a corrupt regime, right? Puran Ramdas, all the way from Region 2, and all of you, if you agree with me, mind you, I don't have any guests tonight, not at all, but Tom Anderson should be on with us tomorrow night. I didn't invite any guests. I'm just going to go solo with you guys. But if you guys are of the view that the PPP is a corrupt regime, just put PPP corrupt. Simple as that. We're going to start off with that. PPP corrupt, right? Penelope Hudson, how are you guys doing? Lagrange is in the house. Lagrange is kind of close to my heart, right? Renella? Renella Johnson, hope you're not related to Ruel. I'm sorry. Oops, it's kind of like I just drank some poison there, and that's not my forte. But if any one of you in the audience listening right now, you can say, why is, where is it? Lagrange, close to my heart. Really, really close to my heart. Samuel Williams, we don't do these nonsense here. This is not a comedy show. Don't come and tell us, invite that dummy critic. This is a serious show, man. You come in here, where you come from? Right. Good night to you, but invite. Let Burke and those guys invite critic and interview him. We have serious shows, man. We don't interview comics and licks and so forth on these here. But PPPC corrupt, yes indeed. Hey, how are you, Carwin? How are you doing, man? So let's get back to. I just asked you guys a question, and Wayne Caesar is in the audience with us. Wayne, how are you doing? Wayne was out of town. Wayne busy with his work. Wayne is a working guy, not like me. I'm a babysitter guy. I'm a babysitter. So PVP corrupt. I like how you guys are spelling corrupt all sort of way. It's okay. They corrupt, they every single thing, right? Lyndon Gill, how are you? Lyndon Gill. I know some Gills from the quarantine analyst village. I went to school with a guy named Lester Gill. Well, yeah. So someone from LeGrand, Cheryl Thomas Went, how are you? Someone from LeGrand said that, and I said hey to the guys at LeGrand. LeGrand is very close to my heart. I am almost certain that you guys don't know why, including Lou Peterkin. How are you? Most of you guys probably don't know why LaGrange is very close to my heart. And I'll have you guys think about it while we take a quick break, because I want you to figure out why LaGrange is so close to my heart. And I'll tell you guys the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. We'll be right back.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And now, of course, Jack Dave is going to deny any relationship with any man. And we understand why. He doesn't want to say that he has a relationship with Sue. He doesn't want to say he has a relationship with, the main. But we all know the answer to that. We all know what's going on. There is a relationship between him and Sue, and him and Koo, and him and Chap Sue, him and Lo Sue, him and Lo, double up. Hello. Hey, guess what? So I've asked you guys a question as to why is it that LaGrange is close to my heart? And nobody has responded as yet. Absolutely no one responded. I don't know why, but that person from LaGrange, Johnson is from LaGrange. I've asked a simple question. Why do you guys think LaGrange is really, really close to my heart? I love LaGrange for a particular reason. Let me see if any one of you know that reason. Ms. Booker, how are you doing? And all the folks from Buxton, all the folks from, Georgetown. I will be talking about a particular area in Georgetown, indeed. Let's see what Ms. Booker is saying. Oh, lad, you really like people see this demon for real? Oh, gosh, Ms. Booker, that's okay. Sometimes we have to show the demon. We have to. All right, so nobody has responded in terms of LaGrange. Somebody said auntie. I don't know if it's big auntie or Pleasant. All right, look, here was happening. LaGrange police station, right? LaGrange police station. I spent, 2 nights there. The cell. The cell is the filthiest of all the cells. And then you guys know that I've, no, it has nothing to do with wife. It has nothing to do with, nothing muchi. But I love that particular area. Nice and dark, right? Donna Jonas, how are you doing? Okay, so here what's happening. LaGrange police station lockups. It's the filthiest of it all. And I recall one night they locked me up for something, and I was at LaGrange there. And I didn't care. I just went on the cold concrete. It doesn't matter to me. I'm like, it is what it is. And so Gloria and everybody talking about first love. You see, I'm talking about lockups. They're talking about love. All right. So a senior officer came in and saw me on the concrete floor, and he's like, no, bench up. No, man, no. And so immediately I was placed in bail, sent off. It was over some protest. Police had killed a young man at over there in that area. They killed that young man, murdered him, and we were protesting. And then they just, like every other protest, they just grabbed me and they locked me up. It didn't really matter to me. It was throwing water and ducks back. I'm not like some folks, they lock up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they're done with protests, done with every single thing. You know what I mean? And so the police brutality at that time, it was a young man that attended attended one of those secondary schools there, and in that area. And so we were out there protesting, and of course, the police decided to just grab me and put me in the lockups. And like I said, it didn't really matter, but it was really, really filthy. And the person that was killed across that area, no, he wasn't shot by some stray bullet by some rich, so-called overnight rich people that was shooting and killed a little 14-year-old boy across that. That's a different situation, a different story indeed. And one of these days when I have a Lamborghini, I'll be telling you exactly what transpired and how that 14-year-old boy, Ryan Prasad, met his demise. But I wasn't talking about that story. It was a story of a schoolboy, got killed over in the West End. That schoolboy turned out to be the nephew of the late Leon Fraser. And it was so ironic that Leon Fraser, one of those notorious guys in the Black Clothes Police, accused of extrajudicial killings. And there it is that his nephew died under similar circumstances. But yet we didn't say that, oh, it's Leon Fraser's nephew, and so we're not going to be fighting for justice. We put all of that aside and went and we were fighting for justice because it was wrong. Any sort of extrajudicial killing is wrong, regardless of who the victim is. It's just wrong. And so the family never got justice, but it is what it is. And so this takes me to extrajudicial killings again. And, lots of emotions pop up because I've been there when the Black Clothes, they were executing people left, right, and center, phantom squads run by a bunch of businessmen in Guyana, so-called businessmen. Some of them are money changers, some of them are gold dealers, some of them, you name it. And they disguise themselves now as though they're legitimate people. They feel as though they're all clean. They drive around in their fancy cars and all manner of things, presenting themselves as though they're Jesus Christ. And all manner of things. We see it. They present themselves as though they are the Prophet Muhammad, whom be peace. Or they present themselves as though they are Lord Krishna. And that's what they do. But those who know. Now, let's get to a situation that occurred in a community, called Rassville. That is Roxanne Burnham Gardens. Not Melanie. We are done with Melanie for now because, they get a couple of black chickens in Melanie. And we move away from the black chickens in Melanie. We'll get back to that some other time soon. And then we go to Rassville, a community that is very close, a community that I wouldn't say that it's not ghetto. It's people living a happy life together, enjoying themselves in that entire strip of Rassville. I know it very well. I frequented there. I gone there, drink a Guinness with the guys, and sit down and we gaff, and we have done lots of work in that area through the Ben Shah Foundation as well. And it's sad that, according to information, mind you, the police just rolled up into that community and shot, according to information, mind you, allegedly shot a young man. I don't know what's the position, whether that young man is still alive or not, but from the way that young man was bleeding, I'll be surprised if he is alive. Now, I wish that all is well, don't get me wrong, but lots and lots of blood. And the police just stood over there. They weren't doing anything. There were residents and friends of the young man just decided to put him in a car trunk. And I saw other young men, his friends, maybe his relatives, just holding him up. They don't care whether the blood was all over them, but the police was just standing there. And then finally, the police pickup was there, blocked the other car from moving, and they had to remove that youngster out of the car trunk and dump him in the back of a police pickup. You'll get to see for yourselves, those who missed it. Here goes.
Yes, by Selassie. Unfolded.
And so that's it. That's out in that happened earlier this afternoon, this evening in Rasville, Roxanne Burnham Gardens area. What's your take on what you just saw there? And we just checked the police blog, and there's nothing. They have issued no statement. There is absolutely nothing. And let me say this: I'm just hearing reports that the young man was shot by members of the Guyana police force. I am not sure how accurate that is, but the police blog says nothing about the shooting, nothing about the incident. But if it is correct that the police shot that young man in any other part of the Caribbean or maybe in any other part of the world, that police vehicle would not have been allowed to leave. Now, I'm not preaching or pushing for any sort of violence, but these things have to stop. You cannot have police men barging into communities and shooting unarmed individuals. I saw a report, or I heard one of the eyewitnesses, a person who claims to be an eyewitness, said that the young man came out to purchase food, and he had a box of food in his hands. No weapons, no knives, no guns, no nothing. Now, the police need to say, and they should have had a press conference already, because that community is a community that is not going to stand by and allow that sort of atrocity to happen, that sort of police brutality to happen. It is unacceptable. And on top of that, treated the young man as though he's some sort of a wild animal. Take him and dump him at the back of a police pickup truck or whatever, and just rushed him to a hospital and probably dump him on a stretcher. The circumstances, we have to know the circumstances. And if in fact that he was shot by a police, that police should be relieved of his duty with immediate effect. That police should be placed under house arrest or close arrest, I stand corrected. And so that young man, we don't want to hear a story. I think his name is some Icuter. You don't want to hear a fabricated story coming from the police, because there are so many eyewitnesses. Folks are inboxing me as well. There are so many eyewitnesses to this story, and there should be no covering up to it at all. Any one of you got any latest report as to the condition of the young man? But based on the amount of blood, and it seems as though he was shot maybe at point blank, right to the chest, and the amount of blood pouring out of there. It will be a miracle for that young man to survive, and we all want him to survive. And we don't want the police to come and say, "Oh, he just came out of prison for marijuana. He just this." It's irrelevant whatever happened, because Irfan Ali got 19 fraud charges, and Jack Dew, all of them are big criminals in Guyana. But yet the police, members of the Guyana police force, do not treat them like that. But they go into communities, they go into the ghetto, so to speak. They go into these sort of areas, and this is what they do. Somebody said his call name is Little Man. If any one of you got any latest on that individual who was shot by the police, please let us know right here on 107.1 FM. I'll go back and I'll show you this video. It happened earlier tonight in Rassville, Roxanne Boredom Gardens area. A lovely area that, lots of beautiful people there. Those are members of the community when the police surrounded my house back in 2000 and maybe 2009, 2010, and they kicked the door down to go and look for an illegal radio station. Members of that very community came out in their numbers and they surrounded the police. And I'd never forget that day. It was 2009, October 29th, my son's birthday, Ryan's birthday, that is. And, there we go again. Well, just show you this video here. And Rassville is very, very close to my heart for that reason, that a lot of good people are there. Lots of good youths. If they get the opportunity to become lawyers and doctors and teachers and headmasters and headmistresses and so forth, they will do that. But because of a corrupt regime, a regime that sees them as criminals, a regime that sees them as only worth cleaning drains and gutters and cleaning up cemetery and so forth, or they go into communities as such, and they hire young men as hired guns for those corrupt businessmen and corrupt businesswomen and corrupt politicians. If only those youths have gotten a better opportunity through a good government, we would not have been in the situation we're in today. Shame on whoever did this. But like I said, it is alleged that the police did it. There's no confirmation as yet, but let's go back in case you missed it. Let me apologize for the graphic video that you're seeing there with that young man who was shot, and you will see for yourselves how he was treated.
Yes, by Selassie. On project.
You saw for yourself, in case you're now joining us, a young man, 22-year-old IQ. We'll give you his name. He was shot by members of the Guyana police force. We've now removed that from allegedly shot to he was shot by a member or members of the Guyana police force. We don't know what the condition is, but let me just quickly give you guys an update on the situation. And the update is basically coming from the police shooting incident at Rassville. According to this police report, Johansi Yaris, known as Too Cute, a 22-year-old unemployed resident of Rassville, who was wanted by the police. Now, here we go with the same story, same sort of line, same sort of press release. Now, let's go. let's go. Let's go. So let's continue here. Somebody rang a bell of Trench Grappo in the house, so Trench Grappo had to go. And so we will continue with our show. The police press release states that Johansi Yaris, known as Too Cute, a 22-year-old, unemployed, unemployed, compliments of the corrupt PPP regime, no jobs for the youths. But anyways, let's continue. He's a resident of Rasville who was wanted, here we go now, wanted by police for a series of armed robberies. Was shot earlier today by police. Okay, the police now admitting that he was shot. They shot him at Rasville after, listen to this part, guys, and I want you to say whether you believe this or not. Earlier today, shot by police at Rasville after ranks came under fire. Now, residents are saying something, and this is me here speaking. Residents are saying something totally different. The police is now saying that they came under fire. Johansi received one gunshot to his chest, and he is presently a patient at the Georgetown Public Hospital under police guard. So they shot him in the chest. They claim that he opened fire on them, and they shot him in the chest. I heard an eyewitness said that he had no weapon on him, no knife, no nothing, no gun. All he had was a box of food on him. And now this, based on the eyewitness and other eyewitnesses, the police story, the police statement is highly questionable at this point in time. The reason why the police statement is highly questionable is because we are accustomed hearing the same story, that there was an exchange of gunfire and a gun was recovered. What the folks should not have done was to put the young man at the back of the police vehicle, where the police will get that opportunity to possibly, mind you, I'm not saying that that is what they will do or what they have done, but the fact that the victim was placed at the back of that police vehicle opens up for all sort of allegations that the police may have planted a gun on him while they were escorting him to the hospital. Some of those police are notorious for doing that, planting guns on people. So now I notice some of you are asking, where is the weapon? Where is the gun? I don't know. The police may have, they probably had every opportunity to possibly plant a gun on the young man. And if you listen to those folks, not a single person heard any sort of shot. Now, if the police, and now let's try to put on our common sense hat. If the police, as they're claiming here, they said that ranks came under fire. So ranks came under fire from that young man, and they opened fire, and just one shot, they came under fire. Now, let's try to put some sense into this. The police claim that they came under fire, and so they opened fire. There's no way on earth, and let me just say this, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, that police ranks came under fire, and they just fired one shot. Pang! Not pang, 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 that you came under fire, and you opened fire. Pang, pang, pai, 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 pai. No. You came under fire, and you just fired back one shot. And that's it. One shot. That to me is suspect. That to me is suspect. Now, if there are 2 or 3 police ranks, and usually those sort of pickup trucks, they have about 2, 3, or 4 police with some really, really huge guns, semi-automatic, right? And they are not going to come under fire. Because if someone is going to open fire on a police vehicle or police ranks, they're not going to fire one shot at the police in order to escape. It will be pai, 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 and try to run. And now let's say if that was the case, and one shot the police fired, just one shot. In my opinion, based on the amount of blood pouring out of that young man's chest, is that he was shot at point blank. Point blank, he was shot. That's it. Point blank. Now, there might be witnesses who might want to say that that's exactly what happened. Point blank. Now, let's continue with this silly statement. Silly statement. Let's continue. Johansi was wanted. Now, the young man who was shot was wanted. So now we're hearing he was wanted, guess for what? By the police. Robbery under arms committed on Shane Stewart, which occurred in 2025 on the 8th of February at Cane View Avenue, South Rumveld. Robbery under arms committed on Young Jin, which occurred in 2025 again on the 25th of January at Lot 64 Norton Street. Robbery under arms committed on Martin Pistano, which occurred at 41 Village, West Coast, Berbice, again in February 15th, on February 15th. And larceny from the person committed on Adrian Ali, which occurred on, again, February. So this young man seemed to have been, according to the police, busy in January. Busy in January. Then they say that at around 14:45 hours today, police ranks were on mobile patrol duty in Rossville when they saw the wanted suspect, Johansi, in a yard. On seeing the ranks, he began to run. In the process, took out a handgun from a one-strap bag that he had around his neck. Sorry about that, guys. How many of you, and I'm really sorry, this is a serious situation, but the police is making it a mockery. So he saw the rank saw him. He decided now he has a strap around his neck, a bag. He decides now that he's going to go into this bag. He saw the police. He's going into this bag to pull out a gun. Something isn't adding up here, guys. Something isn't. So he pulled out this gun and he started shooting at the police. And the police only clicked one time at him, once at him, patay to the chest. And that was it. Done. Something isn't adding up. Now, I know of lots of stories where, under these circumstances, the police will say that the suspect is wanted for X, wanted for Y, wanted for Z, wanted for all manner of things. And now this is not to say I don't know the young man. I don't know whether he was wanted or not, but all I'm saying is that these sort of stories, these sort of statements, when it comes to police shootings, it's always consistent. The lies seem to always be one pattern, consistent. They saw the suspect saw them, the suspect pulled out a gun and started shooting, just like that. Just started shooting at the police. I am saying this to you guys. I do not buy the police version of what transpired. And those who were engaged in that incident, all of them should have been placed on desk duty. All of them should have been placed under close arrest with an independent investigation. We cannot have the police investigating the police. And what they are going to attempt to do is to say that 22-year-old guy, Johansi, is a criminal, he's wanted, he's this, he's that, and all manner of things they're going to say in order to justify the shooting. Putting that aside now, whether he's wanted for those crimes, whether he committed those crimes or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. And I'm not going to say that he didn't or he did. All I'm focusing on is the circumstances of that shooting incident. The circumstances. That's all I'm looking at. I'm not saying he's an angel. Neither am I saying he's guilty of anything. All I'm looking at, or neither am I saying he's not guilty. All I'm looking at is the circumstances of today's shooting. It does not add up at all. And I wish to continue with the police Nancy story. They say that at around 14:45 hours, that's just about 2:45 this afternoon, police ranks were on a mobile patrol duty in Rossville when they saw the wanted suspect, Johansi, in a yard. And so they're driving. If those of you who know Rossville area, they're driving, and so they peeped into a yard while driving, and they saw the suspect. Okay, interesting. When they saw the wanted suspect, Johanse, in a yard, on seeing the ranks, he began to run. And, okay, so he's running. So whilst he's running, So you see the police and you're running. You see a police, you will want to run as fast as possible. And those of you who know Rasville area, you're going to run. You have fences you can scale. You have at the back area you could run, you could dodge or whatever. But according to the police report, he saw them and he started to run. And he must be John Wayne or John Wayne's great-grandson or something like that. And so he's running. While he's running, the police probably sat in their vehicle eating some sort of donut or eating some puri or something like that, or a hot dog or something that they're eating. And they watch him running. And while he's running, they stood there. They probably say, hey, come here. He decided to turn around and say, hey, I'm not coming at all. And so he had one of those strap bags around his neck, and he took the time to go into this bag. And of course, while going into the bag and so forth, they stood right there and they allowed him to pull out, according to them, a weapon. And he started firing at them. And all the police did was one shot. Now, police ranks are not going to come under fire, rapid fire, as they claim. They came under fire and shot one bullet. Now, this has got to be a different Guyana police force we're talking about. One shot, unheard of, especially under the circumstances. I am not buying that story at all. Again, I'm just speaking of the circumstances in today's shooting. Nothing about what the youngster is allegedly wanted for, if that is correct or not, or the police just fabricating. Because the Guyana police force is notorious of fabricating things against people. They are notorious of planting evidence on people. They are notorious of instituting the wrong charges against people. And meanwhile, the real criminals are allowed to run out there and allowed to be in bed with the commissioner of police, senior officers, and all these different things. That is what's happening in the country. And so they want to make it look as though now this young man is so stupid enough to pull a gun and shot at them, fire at them. And all they did was one shot. Take a look at the video again. And in my opinion, this has to be a close range shot. While they grabbed him, the police, and let me just show you guys with my little bit of police investigation studies, that is, this is what happened. And not only that, experience with police on the ground, notorious police ranks, and how they went about shooting people extrajudicially in Guyana. And now let me say this, that they saw this young man and they got close to him and decided, and he was probably walking with his box of food, and one of those trigger-happy policemen was probably pointing a gun at him and then shot him close enough, probably just a foot away from the young man. Because if you check in terms of the blood, in terms of how everything, just the wound and everything, an autopsy report will show you that he was shot at close range. And they're saying that one shot, we can very well come to find out that it may be 2 or 3 shots. Something is definitely wrong, guys, with that country. And people are quiet. People who should be speaking out are quiet. People who should care just don't care. Meanwhile, people are distracted by individuals parading around as though they're some sort of Santa Claus or some sort of fake savior for Guyana. And meanwhile, all the atrocities committed in the country, and people's focus seem to be somewhere else, on some sort of fake Santa Claus. And now let's go back to this statement here. One of the police ranks immediately exited, and now we are watching a movie here now, mind you. We are watching a movie here. Let's go in Close your eyes and just imagine that you're watching a John Wayne movie. So, according to this police statement here again, the police, and this is where they saw this young man, according to them in the earlier part of this statement, he saw them, they saw him, they knew it was him, and right away, they decided that that's him. So he was running. And while he was running, he decided to run and take a gun, according to the police, and pull a gun and start to open fire on them. So while he was doing that, not one of the police ranks, one of them took his time, came out of the vehicle, immediately exited the vehicle and chased Johansi, one of them. Now, here we go again, guys. Here we go again. Common sense. Now, where is our common sense hat? Common sense. So this young man opened fire on them. One policeman came out of the vehicle, and decided to confront that quote-unquote wanted man who was firing at them. One policeman. He must be John Wayne's stepson. Now, one policeman came out. And let's hear this story here now. It gets sweeter. This fake story gets sweeter. So let's continue. One of the police ranks immediately exited the patrol vehicle and chased. So here is it, a young man opened fire on them, and only one police immediately exited the vehicle and ran after this guy. Isn't it interesting? One police ran after this guy. Came under fire. Oh, police training school will tell them that you came under fire. You got to take action, right? You got to duck. You got to secure yourself. You got to secure your partner. But no, this John Wayne stepson jumped out of the vehicle, ran after this guy who was opening fire at them. Bam, bam, gunshot. So he's running towards this individual who's shooting at them. Does that make sense? I'm sorry that I have to use that voice. Does it really make sense? And who these hooligans in the police think they're fooling? Now let's continue here now. So here it is now. This is where this sugar water gets sweeter. Right, Sonia Rigby? This sugar water gets sweeter, Ian Williams, Denise Booker, and Rochelle Johnson, and all of you, Brenda Casey, Tony Hack, Carlton Popo, Anthony. Now listen to this fake story. And I'm going to start all over again with this. One of the police ranks immediately exited the patrol vehicle and chased Johansi when the rank heard a loud explosion suspected to be gunshot. So now he opened fire on them. That's the first part of the story. And then now this rank ran after him, chased him when the rank heard a loud explosion. So while chasing him, the rank heard a loud explosion. I don't know if it's his partner back in the vehicle passed gas or what sort of loud explosion they're talking about. So all of a sudden, this rank is running after Johansi, and all they heard was boom. It could have been a song from him. It could have been a song from him under pressure. I don't know. But now they're saying they heard a loud explosion. I don't know if the young man's food fell in the trench and you heard blujum or whatever. But notice the inconsistencies. Notice the pattern of lies. And so they're running. He's running. And so the police rank is running in the direction of this guy. The rank after realizing, no, let's go back with this Nancy story, guys. Now, one of the police ranks, and this is the sweetness again, I got to do it over again. One of the police ranks immediately exited the patrol vehicle and chased Johansi when the rank heard a loud explosion, suspected to be gunshot. So you heard a loud explosion. Then earlier, the young man opened fire on them. The young man opened, Carlton, we don't share stuff here. Come on, Carlton. Let's focus. We don't share stuff here. Now, let's continue. Thank you, Carlton. Let's continue here. So, the rank heard a loud explosion, suspected to be a gunshot coming from Johansi's direction. The rank, after realizing that he was under fire, discharged a round. So this guy, Johansi, allegedly shot, or according to them, they heard a loud explosion. Patai, boom, boom, explosion. And so because of that, the rank that was allegedly chasing this young man, they say here, the rank, after realizing that he was under fire, discharged a round. So he's under fire and he discharged one round in the direction of the wanted suspect, who jumped a fence and continued to run and then fell to the ground on the street in Rassville. Soon after, a large crowd gathered and became hostile towards the police ranks. The ranks managed to pick up Johansi and escorted him to Georgetown Public Hospital, where he is presently seeking medical attention and under police guard. Investigations are in progress. Come on, guys. Come on. How many of you guys believe this story? Of course, the crowd had to be hostile. In fact, if you ask me, the crowd wasn't hostile enough under the circumstances, because the people were saying that the police shot the guy. The guy had absolutely no weapon. The only weapon that he had was a box of food. Since when a box of food is a weapon? And in my opinion, in this police statement here, they are covering up the situation. Now let's go back to the shooting. Let's go back to the young man after he was shot close range by a police rank, a member of the Guyana police force. And in this statement from the police, they are straying from the truth. This is not the truth. The way they shot that young man is not the truth. And again, I am speaking solely on the circumstances of the shooting and not whether he is wanted for anything. That to me is irrelevant at this time. It is irrelevant because oftentimes when they shoot and they kill people, young men, they usually try to say they were wanted or they found a gun. And the residents should not have allowed the police to escort because the police shot that guy. It would be in their best interest to wipe him off before he gets to the hospital or plant some sort of evidence on him before he gets to the hospital. Now, don't be surprised if they show you the weapon. Some sort of little tutu gun, some little stupid gun that probably hasn't fired since Guyana became an independence, or since Guyana became a republic on February 23rd, 1970. Well, these days you don't even know when Guyana became a republic. Celebrations is dead. But that's another story. But let's get back to this shooting incident, and that, in my opinion, the police did this here, and the police men, not just one of them, all of them should be under close arrest. Let's head back to what transpired today in Rassville, where a policeman shot a young man, 22 years old. They're now saying to you, the public, that the young man was wanted for a series of crimes, armed robberies and simple larceny and all these things. He's wanted, 22 years old. No job, no nothing, but he's now wanted by the police. He saw the police, that's according to the police report, and he just shot at them. Let's go back to this video.
Yes, by Selassie. Unfortunate.
They shot that young man point blank. They shot him. I'm speaking just strictly on the circumstances of today's shooting. And the statement from the Guyana police force is fraudulent. It's fake. And that's my opinion. And I've given you reasons why I do believe that it is fake. And a proper independent investigation need to be conducted on this. I'm not seeing any sort of report on this. Travis Chase page seems to be dead this evening. Of course, people are tired sometimes too, and Travis is probably recovering from his birth anniversary. But Travis, let's hear something what's going on, not just about Ed Ahmad. What's going on with this shooting, Travis? If Travis is still in Guyana, waiting to see a statement coming out from the opposition. The opposition, they should have already called a press conference. Sometimes you guys get angry, those of you who are fascinated by what's happening in the opposition and turning a blind eye on what really needs to be done. The shadow minister of Home Affairs, whomever that person is, for the coalition should have already issued a statement, should have already been there on the ground in Rassville to talk to the people. A team from the opposition should have been there. It's one of their stronghold. Not sure if they have visited the area as yet, but let me say though, there was a young councillor, city councillor by the name of I can't, but a PNC guy was there on the ground. And let me say, great job to that. I think his name is Kobe or some, great job, young man, young councillor. But a leadership team of the opposition should have been there in order to get eyewitnesses and to get the other side of the story, and not to allow the police to twist the story at all. And sometimes when you ask the opposition to do what is right, they get vexed, and some of you in the audience, bumps raise as well. And we must ignore these things that the opposition should be doing. But we wouldn't be doing that here on 107.1 FM. I have not seen a statement from the PNCR. I have not seen a statement from the AFC. I have not seen a statement from the other political parties. I don't know why, but this here is an injustice. This is what you call a perfect example of police brutality, the abuse of power, police shooting. And this guy was shot unjustly. This guy should not have been shot. According to reports, he had no weapon, absolutely no weapon at all. And the lies of the police must stop. Whether he's wanted, whether this guy is wanted, that's another story. There's so many of them in the government, in the so-called government, who have committed worse crimes than this individual, and from rape, alleged rape, and all these sort of things, stealing hundreds of millions of dollars, fraud, and all manner of things. But yet the police don't go after them with this brute force and ignorance. But they go into these communities, these economically depressed communities, and this is how they treat the citizens. This is how they treat the residents. Maybe by Saturday we'll see some fancy cars rolling in, trying to brainwash you guys with fancy cars, thinking that that's how a country will heal, thinking that that's how a country will develop, and thinking that that is what our young people need to see at this point in time. I don't know, like this song, we got to go with what this song is saying, because at some point in time, I guess we're all at this stage.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up.
People are just fed up. And if you're fed up, you've got to do the right thing. You've got to register to vote. You've got to go out there and vote. And you've got to stand up for your rights. You've just got to do that. And nobody should be able to hold you back from doing just that at all. I weighed my mind whether to play this video or not. But this cash grant, this $100,000 cash grant, is causing tremendous problems throughout the country. For me, I think it's a way to embarrass human beings, embarrass citizens. If you have a government in place that is not organized and drives around the country with millions upon millions of dollars, stop in a community center or somebody's bottom house and invite people with long lines, you 100,000, you 100,000, you 100,000, you 100,000, you 100,000, you 100,000, come here, you name it up on the list. Well, F you back, big, cuss out, pash, wait, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Is that how a country is run? I don't know. I saw a video of a policewoman. I weighed my mind whether to show it or not, but decency must be restored in Guyana. And in order for decency to be restored, you have to have decent people, not pakus, not unpatriotic individuals who suddenly feel that they love you. Look around and look for patriotic people, people who are sincere, people who have a history of doing things for you, people who have a history of standing up for your rights, people who have a history of fighting against injustices, not people who have a history of being part of death squads and paying their monies for young people to be killed and phantom squads and killing squads and these sort of things. Open your eyes, people. Wake up. Do not allow yourselves to be brainwashed or to be used in any way, shape, or form. Guyana needs better. Guyana needs patriotic leaders. Guyana needs sincere leaders at every level, not hustlers, not flatfoot hustlers who did whatever they had to do, get little money, and attempting to brainwash you guys. Read between the lines and be smart, guys. And so this particular video here, I'm a bit upset about it, because as long as you are in a uniform, conduct yourself in a respectful manner for the uniform that you wear. And whoever did this here and put it on social media, it's already all over social media. So please don't say, Mark, you shouldn't show it. It's all over social media. $100,000 is causing this sort of disrespect to the uniform that they wear.
Friends, right now I want to up and down. Come bounce for this fat banana.
Listen to it again.
Friends, right now I want to up and down. Come bounce for this
I recall as a little boy growing up on the quarantine, my sister and I, Vanny, we always admired police officers. We admired GDF, the soldiers in their trucks, and they're passing by. We would stand up and we would salute them. We would see a policeman, a policewoman, and the respect has always been there. We can't say the same for now in 2025. And over the years, politicians have corrupted the entire police. Lots of folks, senior officers in the Guyana police force. I'm not painting all of them with the same brush. We know that they are businessmen, so-called businessmen who corrupt the police force. They feel that they can give the police a car, 2 cars, and this, and give them $5,000, $100,000, and all manner of things happening. No wonder why the police force is where it is today in terms of covering up for crimes for questionable businessmen. All manner of crimes they're covering up for businessmen. But going after small guy out in Monrepo, small man out in Buxton or in Rassville or Blueberry Hill and these things. But the big criminals, them in society, are allowed to pass themselves off with a nice fancy motorbike or a fancy cars and all these different things, brainwashing the people. Folks, wake up before it's too late. This is unacceptable.
Friends, right now I want to up and down. Come bounce for this
And now if it was the fish shop, since she's speaking of, if it was the fish shop and without a uniform, officers are entitled to live their lives and have fun. And don't get me wrong. But now when you wear the uniform, nobody wants to bounce down on no fat. Oh, come on. I don't know what's happening, guys. I just don't know what's happening. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow night, same place, same time. Hopefully Tom Anderson is going to be with us, and we'll see what's happening. But for now, I'm gone.
Yes, by Selassie. On project.
Yes, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.